lads. So just to discuss what Operation Desert Eagle is, and the reasoning behind it is, after the Chile campaign, we as a leadership group just felt that in order for us to not only have visual representations but language and traits that could be a collective understanding of what we're working towards was necessary in order for us to better enjoy our campaigns, but also to have weekly goals and strive to work towards a final result. Now obviously in this case coming up, the result for us is qualification for Rugby World Cup 2023. However, we think that the processes required to get there and the foundations that we can build over the course of the next 6 weeks are far greater than just qualifying, because once we get to qualification, which is the end goal, we want to make sure that there's long-lasting foundations that can be built from campaign to campaign. And that's how we've come to the theme that we're working on for the next, which we've been working on for the last 6 weeks, even though we haven't spoken about it, but also what we're going into now, which will be Operation Desert Eagle. Moving on to the what with Operation Desert Eagle, just the simplest way to think about it is that we're growing birds. You know, we're moving into a phase that Nick will speak about where we aren't eagles yet. We are still learning our trade individually and collectively, and the more we understand that, the more that we can allow ourselves the space to grow, to be vulnerable, to ask questions, to fail, because ultimately that's the special thing about this phase, is that we're able to do those things in safe environments, and just know that it's not you alone that's growing. We're all growing. Don't matter if you've got 40 caps or you haven't even stepped on the field for the US yet. We're literally all growing together. So that's the important thing to take out about this theme, is that it's an evolution through each phase, and by the time we hit Dubai, that's when we can, hopefully with the steps that we're putting in place now, be known as eagles and go and embrace it and have a killer mindset. And then with that, is the how, and Paul speak about the core values and actions that we'll put into place to hopefully have those as daily reminders and daily work-ons for us to keep putting in little rocks, so that by the end of the week we're feeling as though we're connected. And then the 3-phase cycle, which Butch, Nick and Bryce will speak about, and hopefully that all ties in really well with our understanding of eagles, and how we're trying to get to our final goal.
Hey boys, hope everyone's doing well. Just going to touch on the core values of our operation. The values that we have are trust, honesty and discipline. And so you'll see on the slide around the circle, you'll see the word action. All of these values require action. Trust, when I think of that, it's earning someone's trust, it's doing something. When I think of honesty and discipline, I think of accountability. It brings me back to what we did with Calvin, our action statements that we all did individually. We can tie these values into our action statements, and that will help us to achieve what we're trying to achieve here. So there's one of my favorite sayings is, by small and simple things, great things are brought to pass. And these things might seem small and simple, but when we work on them, when we do the small things in training, before training, after training, off the field, then we'll be able to achieve our goal. So cheers, boys. Thanks.
The Nestling Phase was the opportunity to come into camp and leave your mark. With the 6 weeks of intense conditioning and 2 weeks of hard work with sacrifice, leaving our family and friends, stepping outside of our comfort zones, getting comfortable being uncomfortable. The challenge was laid down, and what we accomplished through that time was personal responsibility of fitness and fitness standards. The injection of fresh energy made us learn to understand each other, not just as players, but people too. Together, we took our game plan, understood it, practiced it, and executed it. The money's in the bank, lads. Now we can be proud of what we have done, but excited of where we are going.
So phase 2 of Operation Desert Eagle is the Fledgling Phase, which represents the first time that an eagle leaves its nest, right? So this represents our tour to South Africa and the 3-week opportunity we have to hone our skills and to become as prepared as possible for our journey in Dubai. You know, this is a critical part of an eagle's journey, but it's also a treacherous phase. It's the first time that we're flying together. And a lot can be learned from these moments. You know, we can use this moment to hone our skills, to exercise our instincts, and to understand our new environment and the potential prey that we need to kill. A big thing about this phase as well is preparation for the final phase of independence. You know, in these next 3 weeks, there's the opportunity to live the values that we've spoken about. You know, we can hone our on-field integrity and our skills, and also build our off-field camaraderie, which is a big part of this as well. And the goal of this phase is to learn what it takes to be an eagle.
So the phase that we've all been waiting for, and I don't want to get too far ahead of ourselves because we've got a massive 3 weeks in South Africa, but the third phase is independence. When we get to the point where we're getting onto the plane to Dubai, we're going to have clarity on the way we want to play, and we're going to know that through our trials and tribulations that we face over the next few weeks. We're going to know what works, what doesn't work, and we're going to be clear on the way that we want to play. We're going to have confidence that we can go out, hunt, and kill, and take opportunities that we see on the field. All of this falls back on trust, honesty, and discipline, especially over these next 3 weeks, to get us into a place where we don't necessarily have to talk as much about everything, and now it's more about doing and living as an eagle.
So Operation Desert Eagle will carry out specifically through the day, guys. So first day, install day, usually is going to be recon and ops, exactly what it sounds like. And you got to be asking yourself, am I planning to thrive in the environment? Do I know which days during the week I'm going to be able to fit in my extras, my extra skills, extra top-ups? Do I know what I'm going to do in the gym to facilitate a certain part of my body that needs it? Let's have a plan in place during this install day for the rest of the week. Are you going to be willing to ask questions? The install day is a great day to ask questions. Make sure you own your performance, whatever that might have looked like from the previous week. Don't just own the good parts of it, own the bad parts of it, so we can really get that accelerated learning going at the early parts of the week. And be prepared to uphold the standards. If someone's below the line, that's the kind of day where we might have a quiet conversation, or just make sure we're all on the same page and going in the right direction, and staying above the line. So after install day, we'll have an assault day, which is pretty much our attack day. And assault's a great word because this is a day where we all know that we got to push hard, push our boundaries, push the speed, and push our limits. And it's going to take a lot of trust. And we're going to have to build trust on that day when we're in the most fatigued parts of the session. So trusting that guys know their roles, trusting that we're going to support each other in our decision making, and knowing that we're going to trust what guys see on the field. You know, our eyes are our most powerful tool. If you see space in behind, let's communicate it. If you're on the edge and you see that space, it's green or red. If you're the buffalo and you're reloading, and you see space in front of you, you know, your punch lines, let's trust what we see out there on the field. So a really important day that we build that cohesion, and we take responsibility. We become reliable teammates to each other. The intensity day, our defense day, is going to be called Counter-Strike. and discipline is the focus. And I just think that's a day where we really pay attention. Are we jumping off sides loosely? Are we behind the line? Are we communicating well as a team? Can we take the learnings and things that we've been focusing on in the early part of the week and put it all together in what a session that's supposed to be really close to game style intensity, a bit more contact. So that'll be our counter-strike day. We'll have a recovery day during the week. We'll call it the A2R2 or after action report and recovery day. During that day, guys, you'll have time to meet with coaches and meet with other teammates, obviously, as well, and get into your film, along with rest and recovery, proper take care of your body, getting your massages and taking your soaks, whatever that may look like. And then lastly, the day before the game, we'll call it battle simulation. And that's just our last chance, guys, to go out there, do things the right way, but more importantly, just build that vibe and that belief that we know we're going to go out and do the job the next day.
To conclude, guys, I think as the boys have spoken about, it's important that we, with this theme, we own it. And the only way we can own it is through action, through living it, through using of terms, applying it to our daily habits and applying it to our daily individual goals. If our daily individual goals can align with that of the collectives, then we're going in the right way. As leaders elected by you guys, we're not above you. We walk alongside you. We're simply, I'd say, we're simply the messengers, and we'll speak on behalf of the team. So what that means is that it's important for us to understand that we all walk the same path, and anything that someone else sees that isn't walking that path, we trust that you'll be the leader in that regard and align whatever it is on the path that we need to walk. As we said in this fledgling phase, there's going to be times where we fail, and we need to enjoy the failure, because we know that that's only going to make us a little bit more aware, a little bit more in tune with what the standard is and what we need to be better at. And let's enjoy being vulnerable. Let's enjoy working above the line as much as we can, and if we dip below the line, take that as a learning. And every day let's demonstrate not only what it means to be an eagle, but let's demonstrate let's not be surprised at how special we can be. Let's not be surprised with the level of professionalism. Let's not be surprised with the level of love and excitement that we bring to each and every day, because this is a job. This unfortunately is seen as a job, but it's the greatest thing that we can do, is to go out and represent our country. As we do that, we find out what it means to us, and we'll probably find out a lot more about ourselves. And I think it could be really special. The next 6 weeks, much like the last 6 to 8 weeks have been. So I hope you enjoyed it, the presentation. We've all worked really hard, and we're all going to continue to work hard, because that's just another little rock in our week. That's just the standard. So yeah, if there's any questions or thoughts on the theming, please come and speak to any one of the appointed leaders. Anything positive or anything that we need to work on, because we only want to make this program better for all of us. So yeah.